Why, hello there. Welcome back to the next episode of Let's Build a Story. Bob just got done making some BLTs for Mama Laveau, and I think that his wife is in there setting the table in their dining room. Who's his wife again? Eliza. There we go. My goodness, it's been a minute. She's in here admiring her beautiful dining room, setting that table, making sure that everybody is good. It looks like everybody is like just chilling out and talking. This is so great. So y'all, last episode we did the dining room and the kitchen. And I'm so glad to see everybody enjoying everything. Bob's favorite room is probably the kitchen, apart from his own bedroom. Oh my gosh, it's Blueberry. Hey, buddy. And Eliza's probably most favorite room is the dining room because it shows like all of her wealth and how hard she's worked for the things that she has. I'm loving that she is entertaining in the dining room right now. So let's go ahead, actually. We are going to be doing the upstairs hallway, the bathroom, there's a landing out there, and then we'll see where the rest of the episode takes us. I'll see you there. And here we are back in build mode. I'm excited to get going on this house. We are, of course, we've done all of the stuff, right? I love that they've set the table. That's so cute. There's his little BLTs that Bob made. I love that Mama Laveau is over. She just came over of her own volition, pardon me. Oh my gosh, and Bob made Bob made beef and chicken fish cake for Blueberry. He really does like Blueberry. Blueberry and he have a very close relationship, and thank goodness. I think that this was something that was suggested probably by the counseling that he's going to. And Eliza wants her husband to be somewhat of the man that she envisioned when she married him. So anything she has to do, she'll do up to a point. So let's get on with this landing. I want to do the kind of hall bathroom. This is the big bathroom that everybody would go to, any guests. There's also this landing out here that I want to do, and I'm thinking that we might do this room over here. I bet you can't guess whose room that is. So I'm excited. You guys, it is so hot here in Minnesota. Just to bring it to reality right now, it's not just hot, it's only really mid-80s outside, which is making it really hard for our AC to keep up with. We have a fairly, I wouldn't say big, it's just like there are 3 floors of our house, and our poor little AC unit is just, it's struggle bussin', y'all. And I'm in the coolest room of our house. I recently got the Lovestruck expansion pack. I love the gameplay in there, by the way. The build buy is maybe not for me, but that's okay. It doesn't have to be. So you're going to see a lot of starred things because I haven't gone to the build buy catalog overly much. This hallway should get done super, super quickly. So there's really just not going to be a whole lot in here. It's meant for, hallway table to like set stuff down on for convenience, and of course to display your opulence. Also like a little mirror to check like your makeup, your hair, what have you. I would imagine that Eliza puts a lot of time into this. And y'all, if I'm glistening, that's on accident. I'm fairly oily skin anyway. So put heat in like we have now, and I will look very shiny by the end of this. I do apologize. Oh, what is the temperature where you guys are? I'm in Minnesota in the US, and oh my gosh, that's adorable. Okay, the decorations are on point. I love this little fruit. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm just gonna squeal a little while I get into the parts that I'm not super excited about. The pots are cute. Oh my gosh, not fitting for this house, but I love this little pot. It's a food warmer, like for little tortillas. And there's an axolotl. Okay, so because I'm a dork, we're just going to take a minute. We'll get back to like the build, let's build a story, all that. This guy, this little dude, the Xolo dog, it is a South American breed, typically hairless, although there are powder puff varieties, and they were often regarded as spirit animals. in certain South American cultures that would usher your soul into the afterlife. So I just thought that was super cute. If you've ever seen Coco, that's a really good, like Disney's Coco, that's a good look at a Xolo. It's an actual real life dog breed, and they're super rare, so I'm super excited to see them represented in The Sims, even if it's only a decorative piece. So I digress. Back to the build. Let me just pull out some of these decorations because I always lose them. Also, by the way, if you are newer to this channel and maybe you've not seen other videos of mine, I love dogs an annoying amount. Like, I know more about most breeds. None of the designer breeds I don't know as much about. Those are sort of the newer ones. But I love them an annoying amount. You're going to hear little tidbits about them that you never asked for, but that I just can't resist. Because I think they're the coolest things, like, literally ever. So, it's just a thing about me. Let's turn you around here. Yes, love that. Also, we need a little potted plant or something. I figured that these guys are in Willow Creek. They have a little town that's built around the little ferry boats and things like that. So it would make sense that it's displayed in their house a little bit. This is a little houseboat. I thought it could maybe be like a little barge too, because they're sort of near shipping containers, things like that. So I think it's a little homage to where they live. We've got ourselves a nice, beautiful vase of flowers. I think these would probably be fresh. Eliza would more than likely insist upon fresh flowers. I can imagine that where she was with her parents, there would have been staff that would have ensured fresh flowers. She knows that she could do fake flowers, but in her mind, at least, fake flowers are for folks that don't have the money to replace the real flowers that end up passing away. So she always does fresh flowers in her house. Now, after I say that, there's a need of some plants. Like, I'm usually pretty bad at placing plants, but there's some need of some plants. So I'm going to use the fake ficus from the Basement Treasures kit. I know I just went on about like real flowers and all of that, but she can't be bothered with the ficus plant. She's just not going to do that. Uncle Bob's dusty rubber plant. So it's made of rubber. It's good quality fake. Maybe, I don't know how she justifies it, but she just doesn't want to be walking around with a spray bottle at her little ficus plants. So that's how she does that. Let's get some rugs down. Ooh, it's a cozy rug. I'm looking at some of the stuff from this pack. What is this from? Fringe Fiesta rectangle rug. Oh, cute. I know the rugs that I want to use, their runners, are in base game. So I'm just going to filter that out, make it easy on myself. And I want to use this swatch. I think that definitely needs to be centered on this little setup, right? And then let's do one of the shorter ones here, like right outside. Or maybe I could center it like between the door. Yes, okay, I like that better. And then these also need a little bit of no, I want to kind of do something like this, but then that would need to go down more. Let's see if I just shuffle everything. Down one. Oopsie. Move this over that away. Scooch this down. It's not centered on the banister, but it's equidistant from both of those, so I'm happy with that. Happy with an asterisk with that. We need some lighting up in this place. And I love these little lights, the sconces. It just seems, I don't know, well-to-do-ish, maybe. And that would go here. As I tell you in almost every episode, I have my reference images up this way. I've pre-built these so that it doesn't take me 5 ever. And we don't spend a whole bunch of time with me hemming and hawing and wondering. Yes, these. So this doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to the rest of the house, but I think that it's got some Victorian-esque vibes about it. It's also just a very big, grand house. I would think that this would be something close to what Eliza grew up in, like those antebellum mansions. This is not quite an antebellum mansion, but it's maybe a little bit closer than this one to that. And Eliza wants to live in a big house. Maybe she walks up this stairwell every day and sees it and is like, this is what I'm working toward. All right, I do like it. Moving on, let's go into the bathroom. This is going to serve a couple of purposes. So not only is this bathroom, oops, that's a bar or like an island piece. Is this bathroom a guest bathroom, right? So they've got a couple of guests' rooms and then the master bedroom. So not only is it a guest bathroom, it is also Bob's bathroom. Eliza has a whole bathroom to herself. Look, there's a lot in getting ready for her. I don't think she's overly pampered, but I think she's gotten to the point where she's just so used to not looking to Bob to take real interest in her that she's just set up her own space. She's decided that she feels like she wants her own space to get ready. They're not really comfortable, I think, spending time with one another, like intimate time with one another. And I think it shows, to be honest. I am going to pop out some bathroom clutter. How did we get along without the bathroom clutter kit? I will never know. These items are so useful to me at all times. I so appreciate the bathroom clutter kit. Are they super stylized? Yeah. Do they fit every build? No, but there are items that I use all over the place. I was pushing on the wrong key. That would be why none of that worked. Yes. Oh, score. Love when I do that the right time. Or the right way the first time. I think this would be set up in mind from Eliza's perspective in really considering guests, what they may or may not need. And Eliza has things like, little washcloths and little creature comforts for them. Let's pop that over in that orientation. And let's see, we want to do, those little cotton ball things. They're on like the little mirrors like this. That to me has always, I don't know, it's a very organized way to have your little bathroom clutter items, like your cotton balls and all that. That could never be me. I want it to be, it's just not gonna be. Let's be truthful here. I think, yes, okay, I like that. I like that orientation. This is a guest bathroom, so it's not super personalized. Maybe, I think Eliza would have gone with more muted tones. It's nice and safe. Let's get a razor, an electric razor, out for Bob. Bob puts his stuff out here. No. Let's get you moved, both counters moved. Get that going back. Yes, that shall do nicely. Lovely. The only thing that I don't have or didn't set up, oh yes I did, is a way to brush his teeth. Definitely, I think that Bob has a different definition of like cleanliness than Eliza does. I think he brushes his teeth every day. I think maybe he doesn't shower as often as she would like. She's just glad that he has his own bathroom. We'll put it that way. She wants to do the things that make her feel comfortable. It's clearly different than what makes him feel comfortable. They're having to figure out how to navigate that in their marriage. They're at the point where the honeymoon has definitely worn off. Okay, listen, we're going to do that. And they're having to push past some things. So with Lovestruck, with this new pack, they actually do have like marriage counseling, and I'm so excited for that. When we go and stream the live playthrough of this, it'll be interesting to see what way they go, whether marriage counseling helps them, whether it makes absolutely no difference. I don't know which way it'll go. It'll be available for download for you guys before any of the streaming happens, so that you guys can take the marriage any way you want. In my game, because I am for sure playing this save file, I'm not going to do all this work and then not enjoy it. In my game, they'll either be working it out or they will be working on each other. They'll be working on themselves separately and moving out. So that aspect of the game is something I'm so excited to play through. I think Lovestruck as a pack is such an expansive way to play. Let's pop a little hand towel up. I think we're probably going to do one more over on this side, that's awfully high. Let's move that down just a wee smidge. They've got a couple of options here, but I think it is so expansive. I don't know if you guys have it or if you've been, oh, you know what? This is the wrong window. I actually used this one. Absolutely. Okay, so let's pop this up here. A little bit higher. That's more reasonable. We're also going to smack a little bit of a curtain on, just something so that the window's not naked. Really, no one can see you from up here. It's purely decorative. But if you guys have it and played it or you've seen gameplay, I went in totally blind. I actually streamed my first playthrough of it and I am so impressed. I never want to go on a date without Lovestruck again. It's so expansive. It's really intuitive. It's really customizable. And if your Sims are not in a great place, it allows them to be there. And I don't want to say it celebrates it, but it lets you struggle. There's a way out, and you can go to counseling and seek therapy. I wish that there was more in-depth therapy other than just related to relationships, but the cards that you get when you go to couples therapy is outstanding. It's absolutely outstanding. I love the language that's used. I love, love, love the messaging around boundaries and how we need to talk about those and be open with those. And we need to have them. Like, it is good for you to set romantic boundaries. In my opinion, great job, A+. Now, I'm not a simmer that's going to come at you. For me, an expansion pack isn't an expansion pack because of the build buy assets or the CAS assets or the amount of lots in the world or what the world does. Those things are great, but not to me what makes an expansion pack an expansion pack. For me, it is all about gameplay and depth of gameplay. I think we're going to go with this little base game toilet paper roll. It doesn't feel right to use like the newer ones in this build because the Pancakes are one that shipped with the original base game. And I don't know, I just like it. I think that it belongs in their house specifically, not in all of the base game houses, but in this one specifically. I am so sorry, I allowed myself to get distracted by toilet paper. We're just using white rugs in here because they're easy to throw in the laundry and bleach. And I think that, Eliza would want to do that. She wouldn't trust Bob to not get stains everywhere. So that's what they're doing. So, oh my gosh, look at this. It's almost done. There are a few expansion packs that I think really, really fit that definition. I think Get to Work was one. Seasons, I think the original one for me was Seasons because of the seasons that it introduced, the calendar system, the holiday mechanics, all of that. I think that it would be a very different game for me if I didn't have Seasons. Let's give him some extra toilet paper up this way. I think that guests will appreciate that. I think that Get to Work was another example of that with their club system and the mechanics of that. I think it revolutionized the game. I think that Cottage Living did that as well with how interconnected everything was. We've had a lot of expansion packs that fundamentally changed the game. Lovestruck is one of those, in my humble opinion. I don't want to do dates without it. I don't want to have any other kind of relationship without it. I think I was about to say Get to Work. Nope. Growing Together. I think that's another one because of the depth of relationships that you get. So for me, expansion packs are all about gameplay, and I think it hit the mark, and I'm excited to see how a family like this one will interact with that pack. So all of that to say this, just that I'm excited to see how all that works out. So we are done with the bathroom, my friends. Let's go out on this little patio. We know that Bob is a dishwasher. He's an aspiring cook. He's a little shy professionally when it comes to that. And I think I'm going to use a Lovestruck item here because it has a singular tile, well, 1 tile wide, 2 tiles deep bar instead of the 2x2, so the 4 tile one. I think that that's very smart. I really, really appreciate that. Where are we going to put it? I don't love the swatches on this, to be fair. I think it could just be better done. Also, can we do it this way? Because he's got to make food and drinks and alcoholic drinks count. If I do, he's not going to be able to get around the back of that, is he? He will not. Routing is king here. Playability has to be our first thought. Otherwise, what's the point? You know, it can look great, but if it doesn't function for you guys, then I'm not doing it. Is there one that's like more wood-ish looking? Oh, there's a blue one. Okay, that I'll let that stand. That's actually, that fits really, really well. I love that. So they can have like little drinks. I think I'll give them, you know, just some place to like sit and talk. You know what? Let's do this from, I think it's the Perfect Patio Set, if I'm not mistaken. I wasn't. Okay, great. So this little number from the Perfect Patio Set, I'm going to put it actually right out here because I don't know, it's just nice, I think. And look at this view, right? Like from your little seat, you can see out onto the canal, you know? This area over here is begging for a plant. I do think that this one's alive. It can be put outside. It's fine. Doesn't have to worry about finding sunlight, things like that. So this is just a great little spot for a plant here. What do we have for vases? Actually, no, I think I've gone for this like little plant here, just popped it on the bar. I'm actually going to put in a skill item. I'm going to put in a painting easel. That comes in when you pop into Eliza's lot. There's a suggestion that maybe she likes to paint. So I'll keep that out here. It doesn't maybe make the most sense, but who knows, right? She can come out, she can paint, she's got some views that she can turn around and look to help inspire her. So, all right, that is the back. Absolutely done. Ooh, we need an outside light, actually, if we're going to make this functional. I mean, of course it'll be functional without a light. That's not an issue. It's more that, you know, just in my mind, right? It needs to have a light in order to be able to see. All right, so here is the back patio done. Now let's move on to our final room of the episode. This is one of the guest rooms. I would like to think that it was probably either a guest room or Eliza's office, but it is no longer. This, my friends, is Bob's room. As we all know, when we pop into their house, Bob has his own room anyway. It's much bigger. There's only 2 rooms in this entire place, and I definitely don't think that it can only support 2 bedrooms. So I kind of rejigged the floor plan so that you get 3, 2 modestly sized, you know, bedrooms, and then a big master that takes up half of the upper wing. This house would have been clearly made for family, so I feel like that fit it a lot better. And yeah, I think that Bob at one point was at, you know, in the master suite, but through time and lack of patience and, you know, all of those things, he is there no longer. He probably moved out just as a convenience thing. Like maybe it's one of those things where it started as like, hey, you have something or other, maybe you game too late at night and it's bothering me and I don't want TVs in the bedroom, so why don't you just go into the guest room? We can move your gaming stuff into the guest room. And then it just sort of became where he slept. I think that that's probably a good description as to how a lot of things came to be in the Pancakes marriage. At first, it was just a matter of convenience, and then it just sort of morphed into the way things are now. And that's, you know, maybe a cautionary tale to always be mindful about what's happening in your relationships and what effects those things would have. Ooh, let's move this here. I think Bob they have a whole lot of like old stuff, maybe from Bob's bachelor days in college in here. So I think that this is a lot of the things in here matter to Bob. He doesn't want to get rid of them. This is from a time, I think, where he had a lot of hope and motivation and he wants to get back there again. And he's just sort of surrounding himself with the Bob of Yester Year. And again, I think that the intention is to help maybe he's trying to help inspire himself to a time when he was happier, but it's just reminding him of the big differences between where he wants to be and where he is. And I don't think it's having an overall healthy effect for him, but I don't think that either he or Eliza know what to do with it. They're just sort of doing whatever they feel work. You know what? These are kind of cool. Like maybe in grade school or college or something, he got these medals. So like this is the Bob of Yester Year room. And I think that Eliza is really over Yester. I mean, like she fell in love with Yester Year Bob, but she's tired of Bob living in the past and feels like it's really holding him back and them back. But at the end of the day, he's a full-grown adult man, and so she can't change him. She would love to. As much as she really, really wants to change him, she can't. Let's put a little bed right here for Mr. Blueberry. Blueberry does sleep in the same room with Bob. Blueberry is Bob's emotional support animal. And I think that that's very important to Bob. Of course, Bob has his TV. He has rigged his Xbox or gaming console to work with it. It doesn't work well, but it works well enough. And yeah, I think that that's, what else is there to be said? Like, Eliza was like, hey, let's try to figure things out. Let's get you fixed, which I think is not great language, as well-intentioned as it may have been. But she did that. Gloomy Sims are not broken Sims, but I think Eliza was raised to think of it that way. I think that after all the trying and the frustration and the really trying to figure it out on their own and not really coming up with great answers, that just out of frustration, everybody's in their own spot and they're open. Bob is open with his therapist about that. In my mind, he goes to therapy. There really isn't that in The Sims, but in my mind, he goes to therapy and his therapist is like, well, that's concerning because you said that you love this woman very much and yet you don't feel comfortable enough to share space with her, like intimate time, like sleeping. Like why is that? You've maybe expressed a desire to do that, but you don't feel comfortable telling her this or asking or working on that. You don't feel supported. Bob, I think, is trying his best to work on himself. Bob also pops in with like an exercise machine and a workman's bench in his, like, this side is Bob's side and this side is Eliza's side. But out on his balcony, there's a workman's bench out here. I don't think that really fits Bob. And I think the story is that, like, of course it wouldn't. He also has a little exercise machine in his room. That won't fit here. But I think what I can do is pop in a yoga mat. I think that Bob's therapist might encourage him to do things that would maybe help to take him outside of the moment that he's in. Maybe he struggles. We know that he struggles with gloominess. Maybe it stems from anxiety. Maybe it has nothing to do with that, right? Let's do this. Let's do this swatch. I like that quite a bit. Just focus on doing other things that sort of build him up and quiet his mind. And so he's like, listen, if you want to work out and that takes your mind off of it and that really helps to give you some structure, then go and do it. But be careful about your motivation. If this comes from a very positive place and is something that you feel really comfortable doing, you enjoy doing it, and it's a way to let out some of your either nervous or gloomy energy, then awesome. This can be really constructive. But if you're just doing this because you believe the only way that you can be loved by Eliza is to completely change all parts of you and to keep up this exhaustive schedule of always performing, then maybe don't do that. So I think rather than fitness, his therapist is probably telling him or encouraging him to things like wellness. So yoga, meditation, maybe a little bit of boxing to get the frustration out, but nothing to specifically bulk up or slim down. Just really something more to look holistically. That's also part of what Blueberry is doing, right? Blueberry is there to help Bob just feel more comfortable in his space, in his skin, and to be honest, probably to help Eliza a little bit. I think Eliza likes Blueberry. but this is a family of missed expectations, misplaced expectations, and missing each other. And so this room is a lot about that. So guys, we have quite a lot of the landing done. We will have one more episode of this Let's Build a Story for the Pancakes household, where we will build Eliza's room, the master suite. It is absolutely massive. Her bathroom, and this little bonus room that I would be very interested to know what you think is for. I know what I think it's for, but sometimes you guys can change my mind. So please pop that down in the comments. Bob is angry. He's currently experiencing an angry sentiment. He lost an argument publicly in front of Mama Laveau. I would imagine that he and Eliza got into a bickering, that she was nagging him again, and it's embarrassing, so he's asking Blueberry to go lay down. I think he's probably gonna do some gaming afterwards. Oh, there's a little lazy Blueberry, and even the cat's not listening to him. Oh my gosh, you guys, he's going to work. Never mind. I will see you guys all back here next time. Thank you for watching. Love you very much. Leave a comment, leave a like. I will see you guys in the next one. Happy simming.